And we're live. All right. Again, this is a playtesting session number 6 for Hooves and Horns. Cameron, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Cameron, and tonight I'm playing Arnork, the Bugbear Barbarian. He grew up and he was the top of his tribe. He could do anything, fight anyone, hunt anything, and he went off in search of adventure when the Dream Delvers found him. So now we're seeing what they've cooked up, and what things he can find.
All right. Edward, you're up.
Hey, I'm playing Fred, the Dragonborn monk. Um, he's he's just traveling the land trying to find the next delicious meal, and sort of stumbled upon the Delvers when trying to find a rare fish.
All right. Matt, you're up.
I will be playing the wood elf named Cassandra, who is a merchant turned cleric after getting robbed on the road and being inspired to pursue medicine by the people who helped her along the way.
Cloak, you're next.
All right, I'll be playing Dan Cree. He is a satyr rogue. He's going to be he participates in banditry, usually knocking over traveling caravans, and mostly to just get enough money to afford his very expensive food habits. He has dreams of knocking over a big enough spice caravan where he can just retire.
All right. And now our adventure begins. You were all staying in a town called Cedarbrook, where you hear that people have been disappearing until in the nearby Umbra Woods. The mayor of Cedarbrook offers you a reward to uncover the mystery. You pack up your gear and travel deep into the woods, determined to earn that reward. Everything is going fine until an hour before sundown. Strangely, the road dead ends into a large clearing. You see a gated fence surrounding 2 log cabins, a garden, and a pond. The cabins seem normal except for one thing. There are goats everywhere. Goats in the trees, goats on the roofs, goats in the pond, goats of all colors and sizes. Some goats wander up to the fence and then turn back again. Their loud bleats and hoofbeats make your ears ring. What do you do?
Anyone hungry for goat?
Meh. A great number of goats are bleating very
Not
loudly.
not my preference today. Looks like someone didn't put the woman in heat up. Looks like they've got a bit of a population problem around here. And
That would
I'll
be
just
that would be an understatement. There is a lot of goats.
I'll do a little somersault flip over the fence to try to see if I can corral them out of the way.
You do a somersault over the fence, and you notice that through all the noise of the goats bleating and shrieking, you recognize a very odd melody coming from what seems to be the goats. Roll a perception check.
Oh, wow. Okay. I got a nat 20,
A
and
net
a +4 to my perception makes it 24.
a nat 20. For some reason, you're in tune with these goats far more than even an animal handler. And you listen closely and hear what seems to be singing from the goats, as if a chorus of goats were singing, "Sleep all morning, get up at noon, then it's into the woods I go. When my basket's full and the sun goes down, I'll return for a bottle or two. Yes, I will return for a bottle or two." And they continue on, and the harmonics seem to resonate and then drift away, and you just hear random goats again.
I would turn around and communicate that to the group and tell them that there's some weird omens in the air. I hear voices speaking of a return.
And with
Well,
that,
that's disconcerting.
we will start our 30-minute timer.
Whew, okay. All right. Uh, what is the landscape like? You said it's just a farmhouse.
There's a clearing with a farmhouse, and you see a barn. You see a small house with a roof made of straw. You see a garden, and you see a small pond. Appears to be a wicker chair of sorts nearby the pond, completely covered all throughout the pond. Bottles and debris and garbage of all kinds.
You said bottle?
Bottles.
Look, bottle there. And I point to the bottles by the pond.
Um, do the goats seem centralized in any particular area, or are they pretty equally distributed across this entire landscape?
Oh, it's a little bit of both, if that makes any sense. You see some small collections of goats here and there, and then spread and distributed throughout. Mostly the ones eating grass are distributed. The ones playing are huddled together, having fun and joyful. What do you call it? Merrymaking. There's a number by the pond drinking up a lot of the pond water, and those in particular seem the most joyous. Make a perception check.
That's a natural 2 for a 7.
A natural 2. Though most of you feel like there's something off about the place, you don't quite notice anything specific, except for, a large population of goats.
Okay. I
Those
would
goats
like.
are having fun. I play with goats. I want to go try to frolic with the goats.
The goats are the most playful of goats that you've ever seen. Most of the goats are relatively violent and angry most of the time. These are not. These are very joyful and happy-go-lucky goats.
Does anybody want to come with me to explore some of these buildings?
I can come, Cassie. Let's see if what we can find. Supposedly there should be someone coming back soon, and I'd rather have had my look before they get back.
I agree. Do we want to start with the house with the straw roof?
Yeah, sounds good.
As you go closer to the house, you notice that the door is ajar. What do you do?
I'll ready my hand crossbow and peek inside.
Okay.
I'll do the same with my 2 short swords.
As you peek inside, you find a shadowy main room littered with empty bottles, old dishes, bits of food, tobacco stains, clumps of dirt, and what looks like goat hair. Damaged furniture is strewn about, and the air has a distinct crusty tavern smell. On the wall opposite of you, you see a door leading to another room.
I'd like to try to identify these bottles.
Roll an investigation check.
May I provide the help action?
Absolutely.
Does that just give me advantage?
That's
Yes.
correct.
My first roll was a 10. Let me see what this second one is. Second one is a 3, so I'll be taking that 10. I have no modifier.
You sift through the rubbish too hurriedly and only manage to get your hands dirty. Identifying the bottles, though, you sense that almost all of them are alcoholic in nature.
Okay.
I'd like to approach the door on the opposite end of the room and see if it's locked.
It doesn't appear to have a lock, but it does have a latch that you can open.
Cloak. What do you think?
I say we check it out. What's Fred doing?
Fred's like looking out the window towards the goats, mouth watering.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look at Cass and say, we can take a look inside. I'll lead the way. You have my back, if you will.
Of course.
And I'll walk in with both swords safely pointed in front of me.
Okay. You are all in the house now. Is that correct?
Arnor was playing, but he's going to notice that there's nobody around him anymore, and he's going to try to figure out where they went. I'm assuming he's going to have noticed them leaving,
Okay.
so I'll be in the house too. For
So
fun.
you follow the party into the house, and when you get into the house, you see a great deal of disarray and a lot of empty bottles, all very alcoholic in nature.
I try to get any last drops of alcohol out of the bottle.
You attempt to retrieve the alcohol from the bottle and notice that it is very dry, the bottle is. You do get a very strong whiff of various types of alcohol, some of which is ale, some of which is wine, some mead, and of course, spirits.
So the mead bottle was empty.
Yes.
Ugh. And he throws it against the ground because he's mad.
It shatters into thousands of pieces, leaving little bits and pieces of glass all over the floor. Now a danger hazard to your companions.
I just look around like, Arnok, was that needed?
There was no mead.
Did you want that? Who knows how many weeks old mead? Well, I'll get you a bottle when we get back in town.
I want mead now.
Well, there's some river water those goats seem to like a lot. Maybe have a drink of that.
You do recall the goats were very joyful in drinking the pond water.
Okay, I go drink pond water.
You go outside to hang out with all of the other goats near the pond, and you put your mouth to the water and start drinking, and notice that you are drinking a lot. You fill your entire belly with pond water. In a few moments, you notice you are far more joyful than you were before.
Yeah. I run back to the party and say, pond water. Yes.
Is everything all right?
Go drink pond water.
I'll pass.
No,
But,
no pass.
I won't knock it, Arnok, but if you like it, you like it.
Okay, I like it.
Could I attempt a medicine check on Arnok?
Sure. Roll your check.
Say 16.
He would be very, very similar to a man that you might encounter at a tavern after drinking 4 or 5 bottles of ale.
How much water did you drink?
Some.
All right.
I go
Mildly.
drink more. I'll be back.
Maybe hold off for a few minutes until we can sort of get our bearings here. Do we want to proceed to the our investigation into the next area? In the
There is a
farmhouse?
door unopened.
perhaps?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I'll tap the doorway as I walk in. So anyone in here? Hello.
Roll a perception check.
Let's see. Perception. Okay, I got a 5 after. I actually rolled a nat 1.
You
And I
rolled a
have
nat
a-
1.
Yeah.
Yes, you listen, and for whatever reason, you only hear your companions as the door echoes through.
You
As
gotta
your
try to
friends'
pond
footsteps echo through the door.
Talk about a variety. Nat 20, nat 1. Jeez.
What in room?
Oh yeah, hearing nothing. I guess I'll just keep going forward and say, "Come on, guys! Don't. It seems quiet."
Hearing nothing, you open the door and you discover a room with one large bed and one child-sized bed. It's dark and dusty, but enough light squeezes through the window to illuminate piles of clothes. Empty bottles and toys scattered throughout the floor. Something is moving in the shadow. A baby goat jumps out, its yellow eyes large and curious. It starts chewing on one of the wooden toys.
Fred, seeing the baby goat, is going to run over and grab it.
You run over and grab the goat, and it unsuspectingly allows you without squirming at all.
I'm gonna let Fred do as he does. Could I try to investigate or look into like the bed to see if there's anything off about it, or if there's anything maybe under a pillow or
Roll
under
an
the
investigation check for the bed.
right. All right, got a 3.
You find dust bunnies.
Yes, yes.
Are there signs of people, or frankly, any creature that isn't a goat, remaining in this bedroom?
Roll an investigation check.
15.
You note that not many goats wear clothes or play with toys.
I'm gonna pick up one of the kids' clothes and look at it.
Okay. It appears to be clothing for a small girl.
I put it on the baby goat, just like lay it on top of the baby goat.
You lay it on the baby goat. The baby goat looks at you stupidly.
Mhm. I want more pond water.
I would like to smell the goat. To
You
see if
smell
it
the
sm-
goat. Yes.
And I'm trying to see if it smells like a goat.
Roll an investigation check.
Let's see. Should have got the investigation skill. Hey, okay, 14.
You smell what appears to be a goat.
Well, I say, seems that we've got a goat problem here. Does anyone have any clue what the hell is going on?
I think
mean-
pond water give answer.
Food.
What time of day is it?
It is 15 minutes till sundown.
That's disconcerting. Okay. I have a suspicion, but I don't want to say until we have a bit more information to work on. Should we? I'd like to investigate the garden.
You investigate the garden. Do you, all of you, or just you?
I'm stating that openly, so whoever would like to assist.
I'll let
Arnor
Cat do
can-
it by itself.
You
gonna
begin
pick
to
up some-
walk outside to the garden, and you look, and all of the garden, as far as you can tell, even without rolling your investigation, everything is completely plucked clean, as if goats had eaten everything.
Okay.
I get water for later. I pick up a couple of the bottles, like 3 or 4 of them, and go fill them out at the pond.
You grab several very large and very dirty bottles and fill them all up with pond water.
I'm going to leave the little shack that we checked out and try to take a look at the other building. And sneakily take a look at the other building.
The other building appears to be a barn. There is a loft door that is open and the bottom door that is closed.
Is there any visible openings of the roof of the barn?
The roof of the barn seems to be soundly made.
Gotcha. So no openings or anything.
How
Alright, yeah.
high is the second door that's open?
Approximately 10 feet.
Let's see. Well, let me see. I'd like to try jumping up to that door.
You jump 10 foot into the air, okay? Roll your athletics check,
Can I do acrobatics?
I suppose.
I do have I have like mirthful leap, which lets me add a d8 in feet to my jump as well.
Okay, go for it.
So I got a 23 with
A
my
23.
acrobatics check. And I also have mirthful leap if that doesn't get me there.
You quite effortlessly manage to jump 10 feet into the air and land on the edge of the hayloft door opening.
What do I see
Balancing,
from there?
yes, balancing yourself, you manage to see into the main room. Looking down, you notice that it hasn't been cleaned in a while. You inhale, and your lungs are filled with a scent of animal droppings and slowly decaying hay. The barn appears to be sectioned off into pens, where a few strange objects on the ground seem to catch your eye, one of which appears to be some sort of backpack. There's apparently a sound that you can hear. Something is in the barn.
Let's see. Did anyone follow me to the barns area?
Cass is away.
Fred followed you, baby goat still like in his arms.
Gotcha.
Arnor will walk up to the barn, turn to Fred and say, "You need lift?"
Fred nods.
And Arnor tries to lift Fred up, and because he's a bugbear, he has the lifting capacity of someone a larger size than him.
So we got Arnok holding Fred, holding a baby goat.
Yes.
Gotcha. From from where I'm at, are there like rafters or anything I could walk onto while still being elevated within the barn?
Yes, there are rafters. You could balance yourself onto the rafters without falling if you were to roll an acrobatics check.
Okay, I'd like to do that. Let's give this acrobatics a try again. Right. Wow, I am very acrobatic. I just rolled a nat 20 plus 5, making it 25.
You can pretty much navigate the entire upper part of the barn without any effort or rolls in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll just like kind of just get the full layout while I walk around the
You
barn.
you walk around and you do see again the explorer's pack. You also see next to the explorer's pack a boot.
Oh, Rogue Brain is definitely kicking in now. I like boots.
You like
I'm
boots.
gonna not tell anyone about the boot and try to drop down and see if I can collect it.
You twirl down into the first level of the barn, and right next to the boot and the backpack. Roll a perception check.
Let's see. Oh wow, okay. I rolled a 17 and plus 4 to make it 21.
As you twirl down to the ground, you feel as though you might have startled something or somebody in the room.
I'll be taking these boots. I'm not gonna actually say that out loud. I'm just gonna without even looking at the boots, just kind of put them in my bag.
Okay. You put a single boot into your bag. There doesn't appear to be a second boot.
Oh, okay. I'll just be like, I swear there were 2 here a second ago. Well, regardless, I'll also take a look at that pack next to me as well.
You look into the pack, and as you pick up the pack, you notice the remnants of a second boot. Mostly chewed up and eaten.
I grab the boot, look at it begrudgingly, say, I won't be able to get a few silvers for this. Still give it a try. Stuff it in my pack as well,
Okay.
and throw the backpack around my shoulders as I continue sneaking around.
You also notice, as you look around, there is a woman's hairpin, and also an empty cookie tin
Just like on the ground.
on the ground. You didn't see it from where you were previously up in the loft, but you can see it now.
I take a look at the hairpin and give the cookie tin a bite just to see if it's a good metal.
It appears to be some type of tin.
I'll leave the tin.
Okay.
Is it possible for Cassandra to have wandered over to the wicker chair looking out over the pond?
Who are you asking?
You.
You. Oh, me.
Yes.
And who is Cassandra?
That is myself.
Oh, yes.
Could
Okay.
I wander over to the wicker chair
You
overlooking
are
the
more
pond?
than welcome to wander wherever you like.
Okay. Uh, do I
Ye-
find anything of note?
The wicker chair has next to it what appears to be dozens, if not hundreds, of empty bottles, all very alcoholic in type. Um, you get closer to the pond, and the pond is small but fairly deep. Globs of algae float on its surface. Dragonflies whiz from lily pad to lily pad. And a few goats wade in, slurping up the water. The sun catches on various lumps of strange, glassy items that sparkle like gems under the water surface. At the edge, a wicker chair sits surrounded by dozens of empty bottles, and if not hundreds of empty bottles. And you notice a faint alcoholic smell wafting through the air.
I'd like to say a quick prayer for guidance and then lean forward to try and identify the glassy objects in the pond.
Roll your investigation check.
Guidance. That is a 24.
A 24, you notice that they are quite far out into the pond. You would have to swim into the pond in order to identify them properly.
Okay. I will rejoin, or I will go to the outside of the barn, and once we all meet up, relay what I found.
Okay.
Why no drink?
It's not really in my nature, but
You want
also
something
it's
from
pond water. No,
No, it's good pond water.
I'll take your word for it.
Here, my hand casts a bottle.
I gently decline.
Huh? You said something in water.
Yes, something's in the water. I'm not a particularly strong swimmer myself, but I think it's worth checking out if we get a minute. Was there anything found over here of interest?
All of you are still outside of the barn, waiting to be let inside. If in fact that's what you want.
Well, if Fred is still being held up by Cameron, then he was gonna just climb in.
He was just going to climb in and examine the barn and leave, or was he going to let you all inside the barn?
He was gonna climb in, open the door.
Okay. Well, he hasn't yet opened the door, and you're still waiting for him patiently outside. You've noticed it's been a number of minutes.
For
Everything-
Dan, was I supposed to open the barn door?
I mean, that's up to you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was still
I'm not
strolling
there.
around.
I'm the DM.
I was still strolling around the inside of the barn here, picking up knickknacks and doodads.
Bored. Knock, knock, knock.
I guess the door's not unlocked. I walk up to the
What do you mean
barn
door
door.
not unlocked? Of course door not unlocked. You
walk-
jumped up there.
I
You
didn't
walk
try the door.
You walk up to the door and you notice that it's barred from the inside.
Oh, I go ahead and take the latch off of it there.
Okay,
And,
you open up the door and your companions come inside.
What took you guys so long?
Here. I hand him a bottle of pond water.
Your companion hands you a bottle of pond water. It smells
Going in the
like a
pack?
tavern.
Going in the pack. I'll put it in the backpack I
Drink.
grabbed, not my
I-
personal pack.
I'd recommend throwing that out later.
Roll a perception check, everyone.
Certainly. Another natural 2 for a 7.
Got a 6 plus 4 for a 10.
Ooh,
It's
17
mine is just broken.
plus 1 for an 18.
You hear what appears to be a goat tethered off in the corner, looking at you. You make eye contact. It is a gray goat. It seems hungry.
Go
Um,
pond water.
He's been quiet since I've been in here. I did not notice he was here. That's a lot of goats. Take the baby goat over to him. Maybe it'll keep him occupied.
Um, Fred sort of holds the goat like back, like, and like shakes his head.
It's a goat. Goats play with goats, Fred. It's not. Nothing's bad gonna happen. Unless
baby-
something bad happens.
You drop the baby goat onto the ground, and the baby goat runs outside and begins to eat grass.
I put the pond water near this tied up goat. And then I open the lid, see if it wants the pond water.
You attempt to water the goat with pond water. It laps it up in very eagerly laps up the pond water from the bottle.
See? Pond water good.
The goat
Yeah,
now seems fairly more joyful than it did before.
Are there any physical changes outside its
Pipes!
demeanor? Excuse me?
You notice that it's very vocal now that it's had some pond water.
Oh, great. Now it's bleeding louder. See, now we went from old goat.
Pipes!
Now we went from old goat to loud goat.
Pipes!
Someone let it loose with the rest of them. Maybe it'll stop bothering us.
Is it saying pipes?
Cass, goats don't talk. Sounds in the wind. Goats talk.
You are a satyr. You are half goat.
I am not
I
a
will-
half goat. I am a
Okay.
fae.
All right.
And we fae take
Pipes!
much offense to those comments.
Okay.
We're not related to goats. They just simply look like us.
They look like you.
I don't
Not-
even.
Okay.
I don't
Alright.
even eat goat.
We can.
I give the goat some more pond water.
It drinks it very eagerly. In fact,
I'll-
it drinks it all.
Oh, jeez. I just go ahead and let the goat loose for fear that it's going to be bleeding even louder.
You untether the goat, and it darts outside and begins to eat grass. And then a few moments later, it moves on to the pond, where it begins to drink even more pond water.
Oh, jeez. Like a concerning amount of pond water.
I mean, it's still drinking.
I peer outside at the barn and say, "That's not normal. That's definitely not normal."
Not much about here has been normal. You all don't think these goats used to be people, right?
I thought I was the crazy one for thinking it, but
I didn't want to say it out loud unless someone else was thinking it, but I'm glad I so we're all sort of on the same page then. The big pile of clothes.
I think Fred thinks the goats are goats.
Fred? Thoughts?
Goat is food.
Arnok, if you start growing horns or fur, will you let us know? You drink a fair bit of that.
Arnok
pond
already
water.
have fur.
Oh,
It's an
oh yeah,
excellent point.
I forgot.
Arnok growing fur all time.
Good point, Arnok. If you start growing any horns, please let us know. Or hooves. I'm the only one with hooves around here.
No hooves yet. Maybe drink more pond water.
There's
We've
no
ex-
stopping the fellow.
We've explored the barn, the small house, the pond, the garden, and the wicker chair. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
I
Lack
think
of
that
food around here. That now that you mention it.
Fred points to the many, many goats.
Food?
The garden was all torn up. There's still something at the bottom of the pond if any of you are feeling particularly amphibious.
What does amphibious mean?
If you want to swim to the bottom of the pond, I will be happy to cheer you on.
Let's do it.
Very well.
I will attempt to swim to the bottom of the pond and retrieve the glassy object.
I'll lay a hand on your shoulder before you dive in and say good luck and give you guidance, which is a D4 on whatever check you make in the next minute.
Okay.
On the way there, Fred picks up the baby goat once more.
I'm gonna go there and watch because I have to see this.
roll an investigation check to investigate the bottom of the pond.
8.
Did you add a D4?
Uh-huh. No, I did not.
Oh.
10.
You pedal around like one of the goats, but you're too disgusted to focus on anything in particular and find nothing but more empty bottles and discarded clothing.
I take back an empty bottle. Here, glassy object.
You find a glassy object that is a bottle full of pond water.
I, as a failed merchant, I am not good at selling things, but I do retain a general idea of supply routes. Is there anything that runs through these umber woods that like would deliver this quantity of bottles, or that I am aware of?
Perhaps all of the trade routes, if combined, would provide this many bottles of alcohol.
So these are likely these are likely some kind of byproduct of magic. I don't think there's any kind of supplier that would
There are
bring
hundreds,
this
if not
much here.
thousands, of bottles, all empty.
I put the bottle down and do the kind of dog shake thing to dry myself, getting everyone wet.
Ah, jeez.
Well,
Need to be dry.
if I'm already wet, well, no, there's
As the sun finally sets, you hear something. Roll roll a perception check.
Whole group.
Whole group.
oh boy.
Ooh, strong 7.
Ooh, 21.
Did better this
21.
time. Now it's a natural 3.
The
Ooh.
21 definitely hears some loud singing in the distance from somewhere in the forest.
There it goes again. I'm hearing the singing, guys. Someone's definitely coming.
It sounds like tavern songs.
I think I know what might have happened here, everyone. It looks to me like there was a big old party here, and then everyone changed into goats. I think we're lucky we didn't bring any alcohol with us.
I have a candle in my I actually have 10 candles in my inventory as a priest. Could I remove some of the wax and begin to cover my ears?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If anybody would like some, I still think that goats had pipes.
You now have
Something is happening.
disadvantage. You now have disadvantage on anything perception related that has to do with hearing things.
Naturally.
I will take that offer of wax just because I've heard a lot of weird stuff and I don't like where it's going. So I'm going to stuff my ears as well.
Okay.
Fred, you going on Wax Odyssey too?
Fred nods.
Why are you afraid? Onward are good.
Arnok, seriously, if you grow horns or hooves, please let us know.
I
A
look
few
at
moments
my-
later, suddenly you hear loud singing in the distance, all of you. It grows louder until you see a satyr burst from the trees. A basket of mushrooms dangles from his arm. He looks cheerful, with a bushy red beard framing his grinning face. As he prances around the yard, he pats the goats on their head. Merry are we when the sun goes down, he sings. Merry are we with a bottle or three. All of the goats seem very glad that he's back home.
Who you?
Oh, hello there, the satyr cries.
Hi.
Let me see. Are we having a party yet? Because I am. How would you all like to stay for a bottle or three? I'd love to have company. And honestly, I could use far more intelligent company than I have recently, if you catch my drift.
I look at everyone and I say, "Do not drink anything he gives you. Satyr, do not. You don't want to drink with satyrs. Take my advice. It's not a good idea."
You don't want to drink with satyrs, friend? Well, how insulting! Why is that? He says.
Because the last time I drank with satyrs, I got robbed, married, and had my couch stolen.
Well, so did I. Go figure. How much we have in common. Let's all have a bottle or three.
I'm sorry, sir, but if you're looking for intelligent company, you need look elsewhere. We're just passing through.
Well, while you're
Um,
here, you might as well stay the night. After all, it's dark, it's dangerous out in the woods. There is no safer place than on my farm.
Fred pipes up. If you want us over, why not cook a goat as a feast?
Well, that seems awfully disgusting. He looks down at his goat-like features. I wouldn't dare eat a goat.
What would you dare eat?
Well, vegetation, of course, and maybe tin cans.
And how long exactly has this been your farm, my fellow friend, my fellow satyr?
Oh, it's been quite a while. I now mostly just drink my sorrows away. I am a bachelor after all, really a widower. And my child, not too long ago, passed away. I have nothing to do now but to drink my sorrows away and spend my company with all of these goats.
But why goat?
I'm sorry?
Why goat?
Well, they're the perfect company, of course.
But you want more intelligent company. Why?
Certainly, I want more intelligent company. But unfortunately,
Then goat
not
not perfect.
not everyone wants to spend time with me. But there is certain levels of companionship when it comes to goats. I do miss the company of more intelligent types, as you can see.
are you friends with all of the goats?
I suppose there are a few goats that are troublemakers, you might say.
Such as an older fellow in the barn.
Oh, that one. Yes, he has a tendency to escape from time to time, and it's for his own good that he's tied up.
Good to
hold my
know.
tongue.
Why
Good,
not?
good to know.
If he's so much trouble,
And
why not?
he goes over and unveils from under a bush a large keg full of ale, and he begins to empty the ale into dirty bottles. And he drinks one bottle and fills up another, having enough for all of you, and he passes them around. Everyone drink up. It is a time to merrymake. And he goes over and sits at the wicker chair near the pond.
I'd like to pretend to chug my drink, but actually splash it behind me.
Okay? You now have a wet patch of grass behind you.
I would like to do the same.
Again, wet patch of grass behind you.
I'll just drink some pond water.
You drink pond water and you feel delightful. And very talkative.
And very what?
And very talkative.
Ugh. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from all over. But mostly I am from here now. Because, after all, this is my new life. Such as it is. And
Where
it's
were
so
you
much
from?
safer.
Where were you from before you were from here?
I was more of an outlander, really. Going from place to place until finally I found this place. And it is so peaceful and so delightful, and there is so much to drink. Have you tried the pond water? It's delightful too.
No. Why ask?
It is a very delightful well, it's very delightful water, I might say.
I carry
When
my
I-
own water.
When I don't have enough ale, I sometimes drink the pond water. It seems to have encapsulated the theme of my estate.
Mm. What your name?
Oh, my name is Alos. How rude of me. I should have mentioned that sooner. What is your name?
Fred.
Well, hello, Fred. And do you like to merry-make as I do?
I don't know how you like to merry-make.
Well, do you play an instrument by chance?
Let me check my character sheet.
Any of you? Do any of you play?
I play a bit of the flute.
Oh, that's wonderful. Perhaps we should play together. Do some jamming.
Damn it, I can't. I can't deny a jam session.
What a wonderful form of entertainment. We can talk, we can merry-make, we can drink the pond water, and, of course, we can play this wonderful, wonderful pan flute of mine. And he pulls out a pan flute.
Right
Yes,
before he
Brett,
does that, I wanna go stab the barrel of ale. I'm just gonna stab it with a dagger.
You stab the barrel of ale with the dagger, and now there is a dagger in the barrel of ale.
Oh, I wanna pull it out
Lodged
as
in.
well.
You pull it out, and it begins to drain into the ground.
That is the plan.
Alos doesn't appear to notice you.
Alos,
I play drum. I pull out a hand drum.
You pull out a hand drum. Oh, wonderful. I love playing with percussionists.
Cassandra, I think, is desperate to keep this person from playing their pipes, and I think begins to ask about their widow. And I heard you mention that. I'm very sorry. What was the nature of her passing?
Well, she died of an illness, and I was unable to save her. But I can distract myself with thoughts of all of the good times that we had by playing this flute. And he begins to play.
How is he good at flute?
He is an amazing pan flutist.
I heard better.
I ask him if he'd like to trade flutes.
Now he stops for a moment and says, "You play the flute too, do you? Would you like to play with me?"
Oh, I'd like to practice with a pan flute. I have just a regular old flute here.
Okay.
Could I try yours?
Oh, this is a very personal instrument of mine. I never let anyone touch my pan flute. As a musician, I'm sure you understand. It's like a child to me.
Oh, it's a tool. Tools, you can use tools in different ways, but I understand that you've grown attuned to it. And dang, I want to.
Yes, I do sleep sometimes with my flute.
You're
And
Fred
then he
How
gives
continues
like
to
a
play.
child is it to you?
How like a child is it to me? It's
Where did you first get such an instrument?
it was passed down to me by my father, and he continues to play.
I'll also play my flute.
Okay,
Loudly.
loudly. Are you going to play louder than him, or are you playing in
I'll
concert
attempt to.
with him?
I'll actually attempt to play louder than him to prove
Okay.
some form of satyr dominance.
Satyr dominance. Okay.
I'll
Alright.
play the hand drum. You know, I'm not that great at it.
All right. You play the drum. Okay.
I'm doubling down on wax.
As they're playing, Fred, still having his full bottle, goes up behind the satyr and just hits him in the back of the head.
You hit Alos in the back of the head with what? With a bottle?
With the full bottle.
With a full bottle. Okay. Roll to hit.
Playing D&D, guys.
What would I roll for that?
You roll his AC, and his AC would be
So would that just be like a D20?
D20. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, no modifiers due to it being a bottle.
You're not proficient in bottles.
If you had proficiency in improvised weapons, you might be able to. Yeah.
Got a 9.
Okay. You attempt to whack him on the head with a bottle, and he seems to be very attuned to where that bottle is at all times, and just barely moves with the music so as to have you miss. And he doesn't seem to notice, apparently, that you swung at him at all.
Why? Why?
He's vegan.
Do I gain the impression that that Alos is malicious, or just that powerful magical things sort of seem to happen around him?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. That's a 16.
He looks at you with kind of a grin, and you notice that there seems to be some hidden meaning in his body language. The crooked way he smiles and tightens his shoulders tells you that he's lying about something.
Could I roll for performance to play louder than him?
Sure, roll performance.
Oh, okay. 5.
You roll a 5, and somehow you seem to be a little bit more in concert with him than trying to outperform him.
Just like, man, he's got some really good pipes on him, guys. And I just continue playing.
I yell drum solo and start whacking really hard on my hand drum.
All right, roll performance.
14.
14. You seem to also be in synergetic concert with both of your party members. And at that moment, the two of you who are playing turn into goats.
Bah.
There we go. There it is. All right. So
I look over at Matt. Fred looks over at Cassandra like, can I hit him?
please.
All right. I do an unarmed strike.
You do an unarmed strike against Alos. Okay. Caught unaware, he is not paying attention to your advances.
So
you get
would
a free
that be
attack.
like the attack or?
Yes, you would get a free attack, D20. D20, roll a hit with against his AC
Would that be with my modifiers?
with your modifiers if you have proficiency in unarmed strike.
All right.
In
13.
this,
You missed? You needed a 14. What did you roll?
I got a 13.
You got a 13. You, again, very similar to the bottle. He seems to be kind of moving with the music, and for whatever reason, when you attack him, his head and body moves out of the way gracefully, allowing you to swing and miss without him even apparently paying attention.
I would like to cast protection from evil and good on myself, which
Roll initiative,
oh boy,
Everyone?
everyone.
oh boy, goat stats.
I have a question.
With the
Just-
goat
20.
stats.
Just for
Everybody
shits
that
and
is a
giggles.
goat, everybody that's a goat has an AC of 10 and 4 hit points. But
Was I
you also
turned into a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
you also get 2 actions. One is a ram action, which gives you 1d4 plus 1 bludgeoning damage. You can also charge, as long as you had 20 feet of running speed, in which you would get an additional 1d4 damage.
Was there like a magical save that we were supposed to do for the
As
goats, or
written,
was
there
it
is no save for turning into goats.
okay. All right. Just goatified. Are we like?
hmm
Do we have the mental stats of a goat, or are we still ourselves?
You currently are able to perform as people. However, as far as mentally, you do have modifiers to your intelligence and everything. Like, for example, you have a -4 to your intelligence, but but as far as behavior, you can act of your own free will
Okay.
as your goat selves, controlling your hooves and everything else.
So let's see. Do we have to roll for initiative as well as goats?
Yes, as goats, you are rolling initiative unless you want to avoid combat.
No, we're going into the combat. Let's see.
All right, Cameron, what did you
I-
roll?
21.
Edwin, what did you roll?
21.
Matt, what did you roll?
14.
Cloak, what did you roll?
I got a 7, but my bonus makes it a 10.
Okay. Yes, each goat does get a 0 dex modifier.
Oh,
Oh,
then
and
in that
it's
case, I got an 18.
I
And
got a
18.
7.
All right, Cameron, we'll go by it one more time. Cameron, you got 21?
18.
18. And Edwin was 21. Matt
14.
was 14. And Cloak,
7.
7. Okay. All right. So, now we got the satyr. Let's see. All right. Cameron, you are up first.
I am a goat, so
You are a goat. What do you do?
I would like to ram.
You attempt to ram the satyr. Okay. Go ahead
Do I have a
and
modifier?
roll a hit. That would be a +3. +3 modifier.
18.
18. Okay, you hit, and you need 1d4 plus 1. What's your damage?
1d4. I thought I rammed. Is that different?
When you did you ram or did you charge?
I meant the charge, the one that does the more.
Okay, so if you charged, that is 1d4. I'm sorry, it's 1d4 plus 1 plus an additional d4, so it's 2d4 plus 1.
Okay, sorry about that. I got a 7 total.
7 total, okay. All right. Let's see, that was Edwin. Cameron.
Oh, I just went. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Edwin was first. I must have misread that. Go ahead and resolve your attack, Edwin.
All right, so I'm gonna punch him.
All right. Roll to hit. You need a
That's a dirty 20.
14. Dirty 20. All right. You get an additional die to your attack.
All right, so that would be that.
And you're punching him where?
Like square in the face.
Square in the face. All right. You punch him square in the face. He appears to lose a tooth out one side of his mouth.
And wait, extra dice, does that mean I get an extra 1d4 to damage?
1d4 damage, yes.
All right, so that's 7. 8 damage.
Okay.
Then as my bonus action, I'd like to punch him again.
You punch him again.
That's a 24.
Okay. Roll your damage.
Five, and then do I also get another die or no?
No, you only get an extra die with a regular natural 20. How much damage was it?
5.
5.
So,
All right. Matt, you're up.
I would like to fire a light crossbow bolt.
A light crossbow bolt. Roll a hit.
That is a 21 to hit.
21 to hit. You hit. How much damage?
That does 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. He is not looking too hot.
And I'd like to move to the opposite side of him as the goats. I have 35 feet of movement, just spread us out a little bit.
All right. You disengage, I guess, or do you have action to disengage?
No, I do not, but I will take the opportunity attack.
Okay, you'll take the opportunity attack. Okay.
Yep.
At which point he will with his while he's continuing to play, he will bob and weave and ram his horns into your spleen,
Okay. My armor class is 18.
and he misses. All right. The satyr. The satyr stops while he doesn't stop. He continues playing his flute and disengages and runs as fast as he possibly can. And then we have a goat entering the fray, cutting off anyone that would be in pursuit of the satyr. Rolling a 13. Randomly determining who to attack. That would be Matt. Matt, what is your AC?
18.
18. The goat misses. A second goat enters the fray, also rolling an 18, randomly attacking. Edwin, what's your AC?
12.
12. Manages to hit Edwin, doing with a charge, doing a total of, if I can find my elusive D4s, four hit points of damage. The satyr continues off, mad dashing away.
Oh, would I have had an opportunity attack?
No, he disengaged without attacking.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that would be Cloak, you're up.
All right. I'm going to try. I got like 40 feet of movement as a goat, so I'm going to try to chase after the satyr and see if I can hit him with a charged ram.
You're gonna charge with your ram. Let's see. If it moves at least 20 feet straight forward, you can double your movement speed. You can probably do 80 feet. If you do that, you might be able to just barely keep toe to toe with him, but you're matching his speed. You wouldn't be able to catch up.
Okay, so I'm just in pursuit essentially.
You'd be in pursuit.
Okay, I'll spend my turn being in pursuit and bleeding angrily.
Okay. All right. And with that, we have Edwin. Edwin's your turn.
So how far is he?
He is 80 feet away.
80 feet. Uh, there's not. There's nothing I can do. So I guess I just run after him.
You run after him. What's your run speed?
30.
That'd be twice your normal movement speed. So 60.
Yep.
Okay. And so he's going quite a bit faster than you. He is running like a fiend. Cameron, you're up.
I would like to use as much movement as I can to keep up with the satyr. I am a
Okay.
goat, so
You're a goat. You can move at the same speed as the satyr. You manage to pursue and maintain distance. Okay. Matt, your turn.
I will. Is the satyr currently within 120 feet of me?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to fire a guiding bolt at the satyr.
You fire a guiding bolt at the satyr. Roll to hit.
17.
17. What's the damage on that?
4d6.
Okay.
And the next melee attack made on the satyr has advantage.
Okay.
That is 12 points of damage.
All right. As your bolt lands into his back, singeing his clothing and tunic, he bursts out into kind of a painful bleat, you know, and falls down to the ground dead.
am I still a goat?
A few seconds later, all of the goats turn back into people.
Okay, I'm right.
Woo!
I'm right next to the
I'm
dead
sorry.
satyr.
All of the goats in your party turn into people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rest
I'm
of the rest of the goats remain.
I'm going to take my great sword out
Mhm.
and hit the satyr again and go, I killed it.
I think Cassandra is used to this and says, yay, and catches up to the rest of the party.
We must celebrate and drink pond water.
So after Cameron hits it with the great sword, Fred just kind of goes in and starts wailing on it, mumbling something about like vegan.
Are
Like
you
something vegan.
attacking? You're attacking the corpse?
Yes.
Okay, you start beating the corpse. You use a weapon, or do you just use your hand?
No, I'm just bare hands.
Okay, bare hands. You start beating on the corpse. It.
What you do? I already killed.
He was vegan.
I killed. Me.
Cassandra is going to ignore this display of desecration and see if she can locate the pan flute.
I also
Roll.
want to look for that plant flute as well.
All right, roll investigation. You can roll a help action, or you can roll independently.
I'll help. I'll help Cassandra roll it.
Okay.
You sure? Okay.
Just because we'll discuss who gets it once we find it.
I'm not interested in keeping it so much as finding a way to ungoat anyone else who may be human. Investigation +3 and the guidance. So that's a 18.
18. You look at the corpse and notice that there doesn't appear to be any pan flute in his hands or mouth or anywhere in particular on his person. You suspect that it was thrown during the bolt in the back.
Could we take just a few moments to stop mashing the corpse and make a concerted effort to find this pan flute? There may be more people that we can help if we can. Well, I don't particularly know what we can do, but I think we owe it to them to give it a shot.
Is it flammable?
You noticed that it was made of wood.
Likely. If we can locate it, and I'll begin wandering through the clearing in generally the direction it may or may not have been thrown.
You do notice that with your investigation, he was using his right hand to play the flute. It is no longer in his right hand. If it was thrown, it was probably thrown to his right.
Okay. Is Cloaker, you still
I would
in it with me?
also just be looking for it as well at this point, rather
Okay.
than helping. Trying to just, I want to find that dang flute. See what's so
Okay.
special about it.
We finding flute?
I rolled an 8
I
You rolled
my
an 8.
investigation.
I find flute. I find flute with my investigation roll. Of
Okay.
a 16.
Of a 16. You
Okay.
you wander about looking for a flute and notice there appears to be a goat with a flute in his mouth.
I reach out to take the flute.
The goat kind of starts running the other way.
No, go. I pull out pond water. Put a little pond water on the ground.
You are now chasing the goat.
Okay.
Fred joins in the chase. How far
Right.
ahead is the goat?
The goat is now running, kind of just trying to be evasive, not trying to flee.
Go, come have pond water.
The goat looks at you suspiciously and stupidly.
I pour a little pond water on the ground and I step back I'm about 10 feet away from the pond water.
After a few moments, the goat begins to chew on the pipes.
Goat, pond water.
We may need them intact to undo whatever this is. Perhaps we should.
How far away is the goat?
And the goat is about 20 feet away from you.
I want to slowly start walking towards the goat.
All right, roll your stealth check.
15.
You manage to get within 5 feet of the goat, and it's still slowly chewing on the panpipes. You notice it's almost making a few noises as air flows through the pipes as it chews.
I'd like to try to get close and headbutt the ram.
You want to headbutt the goat, okay?
I was gonna try to grapple the goat.
I mean, if all else fails, I could just burn it.
You're gonna grapple the goat. You guys want to Simo this and see who you might get a ramming and a grapple action at the same time. You never know.
What kind of check is a grapple?
Grapple is a strength check, I believe.
Okay, then I'm gonna rage and grapple.
All right.
I rolled
Rage.
a 13 to attempt to ram it.
Okay. You only
I
need
got
a
a,
10 at AC to try to ram, and you manage to ram. And simultaneously, you try to grapple.
I got up to 24 on my grapple check.
All right. And now I get to determine who gets hit. The person grappling the goat or the goat itself. And it appears to be the goat is being hit now.
All right.
The goat gets hit. And do your damage to the goat.
Oh boy.
It's 1d4 minus 1, and I rolled a 1. So it does 0 damage.
You do 0 damage to the goat. All right.
Could I just knock the pan food out of its mouth with my head then?
Well,
With my
it's-
0 damage?
With your 0 damage, you, sure, you manage to knock the. Well, that would be a. Actually, that would be a specific action of what do you call it?
Disarming.
Disarm.
Disarming. Yeah, that'd be a disarm action.
Okay, yeah. I'll just take my 0 damage then.
0 damage, and it looks
Do
at
I
you
manage
stupidly.
to grapple the goat?
You grapple the goat. The goat is now grappled. It is not going anywhere. It continues to chew on the pan flute as if it were a delicious meal.
Drop it.
Very gingerly like to pluck it out of its mouth, seeing that it is now contained.
Roll a strength check.
Oh, I'm bad at those.
Can I use the help action with this?
Yes.
Oh,
You
Nine.
both attempt to pull the panpipes out of his mouth.
got a 12 minus 1 for an 11.
Uh-huh. And his opposing roll, very easily, you pull it out without much opposition. It is fairly gnarled and has lots of saliva covering the entire pan flute.
Can we identify if this is the old gray-looking goat from earlier?
Roll a perception check.
Is this a goat of significance?
Are you a
All goats
special
are goats of
goat?
significance.
So I rolled a 17 plus 4, making it a 21.
It does appear gray and very similar to the goat that was freed earlier.
You're the crotchety little goat from earlier, aren't you? Who
I start petting the goat.
who has the pipes?
I think Fred would have them.
Frank.
Or-
Is your name Frank? Is
I
your
said-
name Frank.
Oh my god.
I believe he's saying break.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna crush the goat.
If no,
Um,
uh, if someone with a bit more heft would like to do the honors.
Red,
I'm so angry,
Red
and
grabs
I
the-
punch the. I just punch.
You punch the goat onto the head. Roll a strength check.
No,
roll
not the
roll a hit
goat.
check. Oh,
I wanna attack the pipes.
the pipes. Okay, roll DC 15 to your strength.
Oh, I have an advantage on strength checks right now. So
Mhm.
okay. I got a 24.
24. It shatters into thousands of pieces. And there's a reading on this. Let me see. If I can find it. I wasn't looking. Oh, well, I'll remember it. So as you break it into thousands and thousands of pieces, and all of the goats appear to turn green and rise up into the air. They begin to kind of shift and distort as if they're underwater, and they begin to grow longer limbs and land to the ground as not goats, but human.
What happened to the goat I was grappling?
The goat that you're grappling turns into a beautiful woman.
Hi.
Not bad.
Well, hello. Is there a reason that you're holding me now?
Yes, I saved your life. You don't remember. You have amnesia.
I see that. Have we known each other long?
Oh, yes.
Are we married by chance? Because I don't remember.
No, but I wish.
Well, I'm saving myself for marriage. Just letting you know.
What kind of person you think he is?
Arnock, if you're not gonna marry her, put her down.
I haven't decided yet. Maybe we'll marry.
Perhaps that's a longer discussion once everybody is rightfully returned to their garments.
You want to get married?
Well, yeah, someday.
Let's get married.
Okay.
We have cleric here.
Cassie's the cleric. She could ordain your marriage here.
That is so unfortunately true.
What
But
do you remember from amnesia? Do you remember
You
your
will.
name?
You will need, I believe, permission from my father. Oh, there he is over there.
No. You
To
have amnesia.
clarify-
Not your father. Your father dead.
None of these people are wearing clothes, right? There was a giant pile of clothes earlier, which
You may have noticed that there is a giant pile of clothes scattered about. You are in a very a 1 acre estate that was once full of goats. It is now a nudist colony.
Let's go talk to father.
What of the small goat that I've been holding the whole time? Like even through the fight, just switching arms every time I need a punch.
Well, fortunately, that goat apparently chose to be a little bit more modest than the rest, but it is a young girl of about 5 years old.
Thank God. Um, child, do you remember who you are?
Evidently, this type of magic kept the children clothed.
Oh,
the best kind of magic.
that's kind of magic. Absolutely.
We call this Bethesda magic.
The kind that's Twitch streamable. Very
Exactly.
yes.
So, child, do you remember who you are?
Where's my father? She says. A man named Yannick comes over with tears in his eyes and says, "Oh my goodness, you've saved us!" And he
Yes.
grabs the little girl into his arms and begins to hug her.
Are you,
He
are you the father?
He explains that Alos came one day asking for refuge, and he proceeded to drink all their beer and eat all their food. Then Alos played his magical pipes, and by the end of the night, next thing they all knew, well, they couldn't remember much because being goats took away most of their intelligence. The travelers continued to end up here and be turned to goats until all of you showed up and stopped the mad cycle of trickery.
Wait, he did that? I just beat him because he was vegan.
Yes, well, apparently he
I killed to
turned
save
us
you all.
all into goats, and he just got one in on us. We took him in out of pity, and he tricked us into goats. A few moments later, what appears to be a gray-haired bard comes up to you and begins to take off all of his jewelry. And he says, "He got one in on me. He did. I feel so ashamed." And he takes his jewelry and gives it all to you. It's worth about, you'd say, 200 gold.
Oh, don't mind if we do. Thank you, fellow.
This could buy a nice meal.
You're right, Fred. Fred, we can get some great meals out of this.
Yannick turns to all of the people in the yard who are quietly chatting with one another, gathering their things, including putting on their clothes. "We've experienced something together that we should never forget or take for granted," he says. "But what we need now is rest. Please stay one more night at my home as your proper selves. There's some food and beer left in our cellar."
What do you think,
At the mention-
fellows?
At the mention of food, Fred suddenly looks very conflicted.
I want to stay here. I have a new wife.
I
It is
I-
dark, and it is time for bed.
It is time for bed. I don't feel safe here in light of recent events.
Amongst all of the previously naked people, once goats, it doesn't appear to be dangerous at all. No one is armed.
Well, guess there's a time and a place for everything.
A few of them begin to talk amongst themselves, and pretty soon someone emerges with a rope that is being fashioned into a noose.
Oh, should we check on that, or do we just want to go now? Because I feel like we've done a significant good deed for the day, and I'm not quite sure where this is going.
Fred grabs Cassandra and drags them over.
Okay. I hesitantly keep step and say, "What's the noose for?"
The person with the noose walks on over to the satyr and begins to stabilize his corpse.
I already killed it.
Oh, you did
And,
heal him? He's alive?
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, he goes over there and binds his hands and feet with a rope.
What are
With-
your intentions with the body of this ne'er-do-well?
Oh, we're going to hang him in the morning, of course. Would you like to stay and watch?
I would love to keep him as punching bag.
Is he not dead already?
Well, apparently he was stabilized and healed up.
Oh,
I must have missed that.
I
I
have
missed-
not healed
missed-
him.
I missed that as
whatsoever.
well.
The only thing that I think
I thought he just got stabbed by Arnok and then punched repeatedly by Fred.
Well, if that were the case, then one of the villagers manages to stabilize him, and then he's
and
he's
bring him
revived.
back.
Yeah, bring him back so they can hang him.
I didn't know that. Revivify.
Is I kind of turn to the crowd. Is everyone seemingly in accord with this?
And Yannick looks over to the party and says, "Why wouldn't we hang him? After all, he was dying anyway. We might as well do it properly and have everyone here get a sense of satisfaction from his dangling body on a rope."
See, it's the satisfaction that worries me.
Yes, the satisfaction is definitely one of the things that encourages all of us to see him dangling dead on a rope. Would you like to watch tomorrow? We'll do it first thing in the morning after breakfast.
they have food. We're staying.
They do have food. I don't know if I'm all game for a public execution. The man should be punished, no doubt.
Well, it will be more of a private execution, unless you want to invite friends from Cedarbrook. Only the people here that he victimized will see his dangling corpse on a rope.
Could I perhaps have a moment to confer with my friends while we
Stay
make our
as long
travel
as
plans?
you like. Yes, stay as long as you like. Drink our beer, eat our food. If you don't turn us into goats, that's a plus, because apparently we hang people that turn us into goats.
That's not something we know how to do or desire to. So
Wonderful,
I think
then.
we're
There
in
shouldn't
accord.
be any problem, and thank you so much for saving us all.
Happy to help. I believe a community has a right to govern themselves, then if this is the way they choose to dispense justice, although I generally feel justice implies impartiality and dispassion, as it were.
If they wanted impartial, they'd hire someone else. They would have gotten someone else.
What does impartial mean?
I just don't particularly.
I
Death
think
is an occasional necessity, but I'm not fond of watching people get their jollies from it.
Honestly, I'm in. He made me think of eating people.
think about it. The man essentially kidnapped these folks for quite
He
some
turned
time.
a child into.
I
a
have
goat.
no qualms with his death, but I am not necessarily interested in watching the spectacle that comes with it.
The participation isn't needed. I'd rather they just did it in the night without anyone watching.
I'd rather they do it now if
If you wanted to,
Actually,
if they're all in
mention-
agreement.
if you wanted it done now, I could have him burned.
No, I'm gonna pass on that. That seems like a bit much for any reason. That's just don't burn people, just as a general rule.
But
Do you
Yes,
want
it's
some
vegan.
pond water? What, a bottle of hot water?
I don't think that word means quite what you think it means. I don't think vegan is as bad as you think it is compared to kidnapping and turning people into goats. I think that's the core issue.
Vegan? I never care about vegan.
Vegans disrespect food.
Dan is gonna offer. Don't worry, guys. Just be ready to leave as soon as daybreak.
And
So-
someone, if they insist on keeping him alive through the night, then someone desperately needs to have an eye on him and likely any other instruments lying around the town.
Fred sort of like peeks his, it goes back to the crowd and yells out, "Have him hung tomorrow or burnt tonight."
What a wonderful idea, someone says. Let's burn him tonight. And they all start gathering firewood.
Oh God. Oh God.
So, once they finish and I'm guessing they lay him on top, Fred walks up and he sort of does like the CPR thing, but instead of putting air, he uses his breath weapon because he's a brass dragon. It's fire.
So explain to me what you're going to do.
So you know how in CPR, like the mouth to mouth,
Yes.
I'm gonna do that, but instead of trying to resuscitate him, I'm going to use my breath weapon, and because I'm a brass dragon, I breathe fire.
You breathe fire into his lungs.
Yes.
Okay. It's point blank range. You're right there. He's incapacitated. You don't even need to roll a hit. Just roll your damage.
Cassandra is praying. Oh, in
Fire damage.
a corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 fire damage.
10 fire damage in his lungs. You catch him grasping and trying to scream, but all you see are the lights dimming from his eyes.
Fred walks away and back to the party.
I'm gonna stab him with a dagger.
All right. You stab
or
him with
whatever I have.
You stab his corpse with a dagger, his lifeless corpse with a dagger.
I killed again.
Roll your damage.
I probably should use just like a javelin. Honestly, I don't have a dagger.
Okay. Use your javelin. Again, he's prone, unresponsive.
7.
Inanimate objects.
7 piercing damage.
7 piercing damage. Okay. Again, he doesn't even flinch as your javelin impales him in his stomach.
Seeing the deed done, I will go over and give funerary rites, just the acknowledgement of a life lived, even if that life was misused in some capacity.
Some of the people appear to be a little upset that you've, taken away their right to vengeance,
Well,
and ask you to
Gave
leave.
them. I will gladly leave. I gave them their. I made them not goats, so I feel they could not like me, and I'm pretty okay with the consequences of that.
So you all leave, and you head back onto the road. It's still night. You have your torches keeping the road illuminated. A sense of peace has seemed to replace this odd gloom, although it's a disturbing peace. You find a fork in the road where there wasn't one before, and somehow you know that Alice's magic had hidden the path onward and brought you to the farm instead. Now you can confidently follow the road back to Cedarbrook, show your proof of your triumph with a letter from Yannick, and claim your reward.
Nice.
We should have taken a horn.
Oh yeah.
And with that, that is the adventure. You are rewarded with 200 gold pieces, and I have been your dungeon master.
Nice.
Thank
That
you
is
very
the-
much, Mark.
That is it.
That was fun.
That
Do you
was
guys have
definitely fun.
any comments? Of course, there was some embellishment at the end. There was no hanging or any of that stuff in the original readings, but I feel like, I don't know, it needed to be a little bit more
Definitely added a conflict.
edgy. Hmm
I think adding that conflict made it interesting because we're
Yeah.
just like, oh, well, he's not dead. Now we have to watch him die.
It
Mhm.
it went from a very clear cut classic fun adventure, and then there was a bit of like a I don't know, just that hint of social dissonance. I think was really interesting, and I always love getting to play into stuff like that and watching other people's perspectives. And
Yeah, my
Yeah.
style is definitely I create moral conflict in everything and watch the party kind of debate what they should do because everyone has their perspectives and if there's no clear-cut answer to anything. So having been a Star Trek junkie all my life, that sort of plays into the games that I run. So there it is. It's been
Uh,
uh, it's
it
been
was
a
the
fun
fun little
game.
mystery. I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Do you have any comments or suggestions for the game designers by chance?
Is there anything we could have done during the 30 minutes of investigation we had?
You were doing it. You were investigating the three primary locations, which was the barn, the house, and the pond. And there
So
was
the
a few
pond
things
was
that were missed, though. The investigation check in the main room of the house would have yielded a chest with clues in it.
okay. No, I think it was cool. There's like a little MacGuffin. I think there's enough stuff for us to look into to keep us occupied.
Hmm.
Maybe the only thing I would possibly say could be added is maybe give us like one more thing to look at. That's just like not important, but like could have been important.
Yeah.
Oh, so kind of like a red herring.
Yeah, like one more like little red herring to like
We're-
just give us another thing to like look at and point at. This
One-
must be it.
Now, one thing that was missed also, if I recall, was if you succeeded in an investigation check at the bottom of the pond, you would have found a very expensive bottle of wine,
Oh,
Probably would
of
have drank it.
which you could have used to maybe manipulate Alos in some way.
okay,
Mhm.
that would have been kind of cool. Okay, no, I like it. I think there was like
Okay, but I feel like manipulating a drunk woman is not exactly the best thing to do.
or the satyr who was kidnapping people.
There was also some readings that involved chasing Alos into the woods and finding him. If
Oh,
you didn't,
Alos.
yeah, if you didn't successfully have him killed. And I will say, in every single iteration, he's never gotten away. He's either been killed or he's been hogtied.
Our
One
situation
far.
was happening
maybe
at
one
both.
thing is that give another location or even two, so you have to make a choice because you only have this certain amount of time.
That's
A
true.
choice of where to-
I actually thought about that because I've kept going long. My shortest game to date has been uh, 70 minutes, and I'm trying to get under 60. And I gave you guys this timer right here, right?
Mhm.
And it still hasn't been working for me because we still have combat to resolve with Alos. If I give you a 10-minute timer, I might actually make it under 30 minutes or make it under an hour the whole game, maybe. So in doing so, in giving a 10-minute timer instead of a 30-minute timer, that would force you guys to only search 3 locations or 2 locations instead of 3, maybe even only 1 location instead of 3. So what I have been doing, what I could possibly do next time, is to create that additional sense of urgency. Have Alos appear after 2 locations have been searched, or after a fixed 10-minute window, and see how that goes. So with that, we have one other game. Well, I might do 2 other games actually, and then of course there's a Wednesday game in which there will be a lot of. You got a brief hint of the nakedness that was going on in the farm. There will be a lot more hedonism.
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
on Wednesday's
Dionysus
game.
inspired stuff.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more hedonism in the Wednesday's game. That will be a fun game. It will probably be a full-length game. It will be a level 5 game, and they're
okay.
but I think all the slots are full in that game though.
Definitely gonna sign up for some more now.
So
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
definitely fun.
Like
But you guys got anything else by chance?
I think I can think of.
Just praises.
All right.
Maybe a bit more denotation of the some of the like bards who have passed through the the pipes element of the satyr playing something and turning you into an animal, that felt very like classic Dionysian bacchanal. But the bard coming up at the end, I feel like was a bit of a missed opportunity to I don't know if there was and we didn't see that one chest, so I don't know, but if there was like a collection of musical instruments, or if there were some scattered amongst the bottles or something, just to give that sort of thematic hint of what could trigger turning into a goat.
The only thing that was really conveyed was the bard tied up in the goat tied up in the barn that ended up being a bard, and bleating out the word pipes. And the original reading, there was pipes being discussed all throughout the game by every goat that you encountered practically, and then there was some what appeared to be some intentional focusing on that one goat being tied up because he said the word pipes from time to time. And so what I did is I removed most of the mentions of any pipes being said by other goats, restricted the tavern song that was being harmonically sung by all the goats to something a little bit more magically conveyed and less animal, like, oh my god, they're humans speaking. No, I took that away and focused mainly on paying attention very acutely. And if you missed and I was very deliberate to only say the word pipes while someone was talking.
I thought I
Because-
noticed that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Did someone say pipes? Am I missing something?" I
Right,
kept on thinking I was missing something.
because
That's slick.
because I wanted to use that as a device, and I did that
Mhm.
last game, and people think that it was very clever, so I did it again, and I seem to like that using that device in order to create, like, I'm not sure what he said, kind
Yeah.
of thing, and
That's like 4D DMing right there.
yeah,
I'll sneak words in
Yeah.
when they're talking to see
Right.
if they notice.
right.
I think all of our interactions with that older goat were very compelling, and it also meant that like when we were able to like pick up on what he was trying to bleed out, it definitely felt a little more earned, which
Yeah.
was really satisfying.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, guys, I appreciate the game. It seems like this was some serious D&D right here. The feel I got from it. So
No, definitely.
trying to figure it all out. But it's been fun, and hope to see you guys around again. And with
Will
that,
do.
I'm
Nice
going to
pond
go ahead.
water.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you
good
very
Pond
much.
water.
And good pond water too. And you guys, if you want to continue talking after the transition, there's going to be a 10-minute countdown for the stream to end. There's not hardly any viewers, but if anybody does chat, I can relay that in the chat. So, and with that, see you guys later.
You have a good one, Mark. Appreciate you.
All right.
See ya.
Yep.
You guys were fun.